Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And today is the third and final part of our Whole New Way of Thinking About Struggle series. And if you want to watch the original videos, or in fact dozens of other videos about a whole new way of thinking about dozens of other topics, you can become part of my inner circle at michaelneill.org/community. Now, one way that you can understand things is by looking at their opposite. So when I was thinking about what's the opposite of struggle, there were two things that came to mind. And the first is that one of the opposites of struggle is ease. It's effortlessness. It's flow. If you think of the way that you interact with various things or people in your life, you'll notice that with some people and things you struggle, and with others you flow. Now, when you're struggling, everything is a struggle. Every little problem just makes it harder. It's almost like when beavers create dams. Part of how they do it is they put the big sticks in first, because they know that the big sticks will start catching the smaller sticks and it will build itself up so they don't have to do as much work. Well, the mind works in a similar way. When we struggle, first we struggle with a big thing, but then every little thing, when we're using the mind in struggle mode, gets added to it, and it becomes a bigger and bigger deal until it dams up the flow of our creative thought. And our thinking gets stagnant, and our experience gets sour and stale. And if we stay stuck long enough, it kind of goes off. And it's a very unpleasant experience, as I'm sure you know. But I'm equally sure you have experiences of the opposite. You have experiences of situations that if you thought about them before or afterwards, you might have thought, ooh, that's going to be hard. But when you're actually engaged with them, there's a sort of a very natural flow to them. And as challenges come up, you just handle them in the moment. Not particularly by thinking them through, but with just-in-time thinking, where exactly the creative idea that you need, the responsive idea that you need, is right there for you in the moment that you need it. It wasn't there a minute before. It won't be there a minute after. But it's right here where you need it now. And as one of my mentors, Mavis Karn, often says, the beautiful thing about the flow is that the flow is portable. You can be in flow mode. You can be engaged with what is, allowing thought to flow and respond anywhere, at any time, with anything. Now, here's another opposite to struggle: freedom. Struggle is the battle against what is, to overcome what is, to change what is, to master what is. Freedom is our natural capacity, built into the system, available to us at the very least from birth to death, to respond any way that makes sense to us to respond to life, to be with life instead of thinking about life. And any time we choose being with over thinking about, engaging with over struggling with, we have that experience of flow, and we at least get a glimmer of the freedom that is available to us beyond any restriction we might be experiencing in the world of form, in our circumstances, in what is physically going on with us, or what's going on with the time machine in our heads. Now I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning. This does not mean you shouldn't struggle. It does not mean it's wrong to struggle. It doesn't make you a bad person or ignorant to struggle. But when you see that struggle is a property of thought and not a property of the world, you're free to stick with your struggles, continue arguing with reality, keep going to the time machine, to the remembered past and imagined future, or in any moment, you're free to engage with what is. Bring all your resources to bear on what is actually happening now, and to experience that natural sense of flow and just-in-time responsive thinking that makes life, even the challenges, and maybe even especially the challenges in life, a delight instead of a struggle. As with all these videos, my experience is that if you leave it and come back to it in a few days, leave it and come back to it in a few weeks, you'll hear a whole bunch of things you didn't hear the first time. And it's not because I've changed the videos. It's just because whatever you see the first time, that you really see what I would call insightfully from inside you. It's a recognition. It's like, oh yeah, that's just true. That's yours. And so the next time you listen, you're listening more from what is and less battling with what isn't. Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and thanks for watching.